Good morning. Good morning. Today, I'm the switch witch. What does that mean? Well, I'm not here to switch out your candy for toys, but for the first time, I'm switching places with our stewardship speakers, most of whom I have convinced to stand up here so I wouldn't have to. And I'm looking out at a lot of you right now. But I do stand here to share with you the reasons I support St. Matthew's and why I hope that you too will make a generous stewardship pledge this year. As I sat down to compose my thoughts for today, I thought about the inspiring stewardship messages that we've enjoyed over the past few weeks. I want to thank our amazing speakers. Thank you, Channing, Carrie, Jana. They were really wonderful. You've set the bar high and made my task nerve-wracking. But your messages resonated with me and my path here at St. Matthew's. Channing's message of being raised knowing that the road back to her faith community, her second home, would always welcome her with prayers and love and with open doors and open arms and open hearts. This resonates with me. Carrie's framing of our community as the place where she sees God reflected in loving actions of our clergy, staff, and so many of our parishioners. This resonates with me. A place that seems magical because, as Jana put it, of the generosity of time, talent, and treasure that support our ability to worship and care for others in and outside this community. This resonates with me. All of them remind us that being a Christian is not about how you look or what you wear. It's about the path that you take through this life. And that is one of the best parts of St. Matthew's, the many and varied paths that our community offers us to bring Jesus' seemingly magical work into the world. For me, it's the deep pastoral care received and given, dear friendships, lifelong family friendships that have meant so much to me in life's most difficult and happy times. It's also the deep focus on outreach that has been a living reality and given my life so much purpose and joy. I couldn't possibly have known what this place would come to mean to me back when we first arrived at St. Matthew's. My path here and to pledging began with my parents who came here from Nebraska in 1940. It was the Depression, and they didn't know what the future might hold or where they were going. Further evidenced by the fact that they joined a Presbyterian church. Seriously, my parents were the best. My father was a deacon in the Presbyterian church, and every Sunday we would go to church with an offering envelope. Giving to my community is a muscle memory. It began before I realized it, but it wasn't until I married a St. Matthew's acolyte that I came to St. Matthew's in 1960. When my handsome young acolyte and I started our family, our path brought us here to this magical, loving home, like many of you here today. We came here with our first baby, Will, then Michelle, later John, all of whom were baptized in the old wooden church, and they attended the parish school. St. Matthew's wasn't the place you see now. in the early 60s. It was simpler, smaller, thriving, and growing from the ramshackle dreams of 6 women and a priest in 1941. I've had the blessing of working in ministry with all of the remarkable St. Matthew's rectors who have come since, and especially Bruce Freeman, sitting back there. Bruce. But in those days, early days, I was actually employed by the church working with Father Carey, our first rector, preparing monthly financial reports, reconciling bank statements. We lived on the church campus in the house that is currently being remodeled. Bill mowed the church lawns and had to shut the gate nightly because Bienvenida ended at the church grounds, just right out there. Many of you remember all of that. And then the fire in 1978 swept through Las Pulgas Canyon and destroyed our beautiful wood church. The parishioners who remained rebuilt the church that opened the doors to incredible dreams, incredible possibilities, incredible opportunities out of the ashes. Bill and I were asked to chair the major gifts to raise money to build that church. We had never been involved in a capital campaign, let alone ask people we knew and those we didn't for large sums of money. But we took a risk, and in choosing that path, reaped enormous gifts and blessings for our church and developed lifelong friendships. That campaign was the beginning of my commitment to what we call stewardship. And as most of you know, I've gotten more comfortable asking you for major gifts and pledges. During those years, under the leadership of our fearless senior warden, June Phelps, we worked together as a community, making decisions about architecture, new church design concepts, wall color, bathroom locations, and we didn't always agree, for sure. But we worked it out together. And after 4 long years of planning, debating, fundraising, and more paperwork than I'd care to remember, the new building, this beautiful sanctuary, was finished. On a late Sunday afternoon, Bishop Rusak consecrated this building, asking that the doors of the sanctuary open, and open to all they remain, open to new life, open to all who seek God, however he or she appears to you. Open to concerts, to day camp, to school, to students. These 30 acres and the buildings upon them are open. We welcome all. And now I turn to you to ask for your help, keeping these doors open, to enable our church community to welcome others into this loving, magical place, to keep this path open so that other young families can raise their children and develop lifelong friendships as they walk with Jesus here. We are all the beneficiaries of those generous people who traveled this road before us. They paved the way for you and me. Now it's our turn. The route forward is wide open. The road is filled with opportunities, pathways, and choices, but only if you pave the way. So after a difficult 2 years, these past 20 months, almost 2 years, I ask that you walk with us, pledge with us, and pave the way for a thriving church home for those who are here now and for future generations. Thank you.